The sun, the giant star that gives us warmth, light, and life. But imagine waking up one morning and stepping outside to a world where the sun is simply gone. No sunrise. No light. No heat. Only darkness swallowing the entire planet. Today, we're exploring what would actually happen if the sun disappeared for just 24 hours. Welcome to Information World. At first, the world wouldn't panic. If the sun blinked out instantly, the light would still continue traveling toward Earth for 8 full minutes. So for those 8 minutes, everything would look normal. People would keep driving, keep eating breakfast, keep scrolling their phones with no clue that something impossible had happened. But then, the sky would darken instantly. No sunrise, no golden light, only a sudden shift from day to pitch black night. Cities around the world would blink with confusion as the day suddenly vanished. People would flood social media asking what just happened. And governments would scramble for answers. Within the first hour, temperatures would begin to drop. You wouldn't feel it right away, but the planet would lose heat fast. The sun warms every corner of Earth, even places far from the equator. Without it, the atmosphere would start cooling like a giant refrigerator left unplugged. After a few hours, global temperatures would fall sharply. Some regions would drop below freezing. Animals would panic. Birds would stop flying. Plants would instantly stop photosynthesis and go into survival mode. Every living thing depends on sunlight, and without it, the world feels wrong. Electricity use would surge. Every home and building would turn on lights. Power grids in multiple countries would risk overload or blackout. And without the sun's gravity pulling the planets, Earth would continue forward into space in a straight line at enormous speed. In just 24 hours, Earth wouldn't leave the solar system, but its orbit would be disturbed like a car suddenly losing its steering. Tides would shift too. The sun is responsible for 1/3 of Earth's tides, and without that gravitational pull, ocean levels would drop slightly and react in unpredictable ways. Coastlines could experience strange, uneven water levels, lower tides in some places, and chaotic currents in others. By the 12-hour mark, Earth would be freezing. Many regions would hit temperatures that are dangerous for humans without heating. Countries far from the equator would feel like the middle of winter, and emergency shelters would open to protect people from the cold. Crops would begin to die from the lack of sunlight, causing fear of food shortages. Wildlife would suffer even more. Nocturnal animals would think it's permanent night. Diurnal animals would panic. Ecosystems would slip into chaos as nature lost its rhythm. Scientists would try to explain it, but even with modern technology, a sun disappearing instantly would be beyond imagination. Telescopes would find nothing, no light, no solar flares, nothing to understand. For the first time in human history, we would truly feel how powerless we are without our star. But then, after 24 long hours of fear, darkness, cold, and confusion, a tiny glow would suddenly reappear at the edge of the sky. The sun would return just as mysteriously as it vanished. Light would flood the atmosphere, warming the land and ocean again. Plants would resume photosynthesis. Animals would calm. Power grids would stabilize. And humanity would celebrating surviving the longest night in history. But even though Earth would slowly return to normal, the psychological impact would last forever. People would realize how fragile our world truly is. How everything, even life itself, depends on one burning star 150 million kilometers away. And the biggest lesson? We often forget how important the sun is, until it's gone. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, make sure to subscribe for more mind-bending stories. And tell me in the comments, what would you do if the sun disappeared for 24 hours?